Hey everyone, George here. Hope you're having a lovely day, whatever it is you're getting up to. Maybe you're in the woods, maybe you're going to work, maybe you're spending some time with your friends and family, maybe you're just spending time by yourself. Well, whatever it is you're up to, I hope you're having a beautiful time. I'm out here in nature, listening to the birds. I never realised how much I enjoy listening to the birds until I come out into nature and do it. I never want to leave. It's so soothing and enjoyable. My fiance recently showed me a video where, well, it's a documentary about a man who spent a lot of time out in nature and he listened to the birds, and eventually he realized that they do indeed have their own language, their own way of communicating, their own words. And he studied this language and he learnt the language, and then he recorded certain sounds that they would make and play them, and then they would respond to the sounds. It's amazing. Nature is full of surprises. I wanted to talk to you today regarding change, because I think that change is something that terrifies the majority of us in this collective society. We're told that change is scary, change is a bad thing, change is something that happens to those who aren't secure in their path of life. And I used to believe the same. I used to be very scared of change. So I had to come up with a solution, because you know me. I like coming up to solutions. The world tries to scare you, and I like to undo the fear and reverse it psychologically into a more enjoyable existence for myself. I don't allow others to dictate the trajectory of my life and my happiness and my peace. I like to create it within myself, and I like to feel it every single day through the blessings of God and what He has given me. So, I've changed the word change in my life. I don't see it as change anymore. I see it as adventure. I see it as storytelling. I see it as excitement. Because one of my favorite things to do, I don't know about you, but one of my favorite things to do is to go out into nature and build a fire with some friends, get some of those chairs that fold out, play some music, sit back, relax, enjoy yourself, maybe have some cheese and crackers if I'm feeling frisky, and just relax under the stars and listen to the crackle of the fire. And what do we do around the fire pit? We tell stories. We recall adventures that we've had, and we talk about those times together, and it's extremely enjoyable. Now, the people in life who I know who have the least amount of stories and the least amount of adventures are the ones who go through life with the least amount of change. I'm going to repeat that. The people in my world who have the least amount of stories and the least amount of memories and adventures are the ones who have the least amount of change. So what am I saying here? I'm saying that change might seem scary at first. Maybe your job has been threatened. Maybe someone close to you is threatening to leave. Maybe the property that you're living in is going to be passed on over to somebody else. Maybe you haven't heard from a friend for quite some time and are thinking to yourself, are we ever going to meet up again? Maybe you're thinking, I'm going to go get a haircut and I'm going to do something different on a smaller scale. Any kind of change in your life, see it as a story that can be told if that change does indeed happen. See it as an adventure that's going to take place if indeed that change in your life goes ahead. Drop all expectations in life. Don't expect to stay in the same job forever. Don't expect to stay with the same group of people for the rest of your life. I'm sure they're fantastic, but they might move on. You might move on. One of them might stab you in the back and you'll say, ouch, I need a new friend. Don't expect to stay in the same house or flat or apartment for the rest of your life. The seasons are always changing. Every single time I come out into nature, I notice a change. Every single time. And that's why I've never had the same walk in nature. I filmed here before, but it looked very different. Life is always changing, nature is always changing, the seasons are always changing, God is always changing your path and your trajectory to make life enjoyable, to make life exciting, to make life actually worth living. Otherwise, you're a robot. You're doing the same thing over and over. I don't know if you've ever observed a pond in nature before, but if it stays in a place where there's no animals, no sunlight, and no real change happening within it or around it, the pond starts to stagnate. It smells bad, it looks bad, the water's very dirty, there's no life, animals won't drink from it. Likewise, your life can easily stagnate if you don't do anything with it. And the saddest thing is, the reason a lot of us, perhaps including yourself, don't do a lot with our life is because of fear. It's not your job. Don't quit your job. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying go backpacking around the world now and enjoy yourself. Well, do that if you want, but nothing wrong with having a 9-to-5. Nothing wrong with having a lovely big family. Nothing wrong with having an amazing house and enjoying it and wanting to stay in it forever. Nothing wrong with that. But outside of those simplicities, outside of those things that we've got in our life, we can still have adventures. Book the holiday. Go for the walk. Find a group of friends to have regular campfires with. Do something that you've never done before. Have you ever been to a music festival? I personally don't really like them, but go. You might hate it. There's a story to be told around the campfire. When I went to the music festival, it was rubbish, it was loud, it was annoying. Everyone was drunk. Not my scene, not my vibe, but I'm sure there'll be a story out of it. I went to a music festival once with one of my best friends in the world, and I lost him. He disappeared halfway through, and I was like, "Where are you, mate? Where have you gone?" And then in the distance, by the way, we were like fully clothed, like just in like regular clothes, like having a good time. And then he disappears, and in the distance, I just see this little pink dot, like bouncing up and down. And I'm like, what is that pink dot? So I go over to investigate, and it's my buddy, and he's there, and he's been hijacked by a group of middle-aged mothers, and they've put him in a flamingo suit, and he's just partying in a flamingo suit. And I'm like, what are you doing? And it's such a funny memory, and we talk about it all the time. Around the fire pit, when we go camping, we went to the Lake District and we went up into a mountain just for one night. You can do this. Just for one night, we went there and we spoke about that music festival and how funny it was. Adventures, storytelling, change. Don't be afraid to change your world. Don't be afraid to change your day. Don't be afraid to change aspects of your personality that are starting to stagnate like the pond in nature. Get out there, see the world, enjoy the world. Again, this does not mean you need to go backpacking now for 6 months. It just means go down the local high street, get to know your locals, perhaps make some new friends. Perhaps go see your parents because you haven't seen them for quite some time. Book a really fun, enjoyable trip. Make it a road trip. Hire an RV or a van. Book a couple of hotels and stay in them. Me and my friend booked a hotel once. We went to a business conference and we booked the cheapest hotel going, and it was so bad. Music pounding through the walls, piss stains up the wall, no idea how they got there. The bed was horrible, and we had to order like this really grubby Chinese for dinner, and it was so funny. And we had a great time, we barely slept. It was a really dodgy area. What a memory, what an adventure, what a story to retell around the campfire. This is life, this is happiness. Have a look at a heartbeat on a medical monitor in a hospital. It goes up and down. It goes up and it goes down. Now likewise, go for a walk in nature. It's never a smooth path. There's ups and downs. It's the same with the seasons. There's warmth, there's cold. There's warmth, there's cold. And it's the same with your life. It's the same with adventure. There's going to be great times. There's going to be scary times. There's going to be fun times. There's going to be terrifying times. There's going to be really enjoyable times. And then there's going to be hard, sad, upsetting times. But it doesn't stay down forever. It'll eventually go up again. And you'll experience something fun, whimsical, maybe a little bit strange. Something to make a really good story. Because that's what life's about. Communicating, enjoying, having fun. Now, I'm really introverted, by the way. I stay indoors a lot. I stay in nature by myself. I go for walks by myself. I like to keep to myself a lot. I'm extraordinarily introverted. But if you want more adventure in life, you can still do that. You can still do that. You don't have to suddenly be super extroverted and be going to all these crazy places. You can do it your way. That's what's exciting. So please, after today's video, after you've listened to all my words, I don't want you to fear change anymore. I know it's scary, and I know that it can sometimes be quote unquote bad if you lose your job or someone close to you walks away. It's sad, it's scary, it's upsetting, it's painful, it's dreadful. But in time, you'll look back and you'll realize that if your life was indeed a storybook, that would just be a chapter or a few pages. And eventually you'll realize that without change, the book, the story would have ended there. You have many pages ahead of you. You have many chapters ahead of you. So go and live your life. Get something in the diary now that's gonna allow you to experience something that can then turn into a story to be told to others. Book a trip, book a holiday, book a short breakaway, go for a walk in nature, arrange a walk in nature, go camping. I hate camping, George. Do it anyway. It'll be a funny story to tell when you wake up with loads of bed bugs and bite marks all over your face. Enjoy your life. Do not become like the pond. Do not stagnate. Instead, be like the river and flow with life and allow the bends to be the change in your life. Allow the bends to remind you of the heartbeat going on inside your body right now, and then amplify that into your path. And you'll see that those left turns, those right turns, those sharp turns are actually nothing to fear. Instead of thinking of that word change, turn it into the words adventure, storytelling, and enjoyment. Thank you so much for watching. I really do hope this helped. Please like the video if it did. Subscribe if you're new. I make a video like this, I was about to say every single week, but then that would be a lie. I haven't made a video for about 2 weeks because the weather's, every time I'm going out to film, it's been pouring with rain, and I don't really like filming indoors. I like filming outdoors, so apologies for that. But we're in February now, so it's pretty gloomy but enjoyable because spring's coming, and I love spring. Spring is so... I'm going to talk for another 10 minutes if I talk about spring. So we'll talk about that in another video in another time. I also make shorts Monday to Friday, and I do them continually, so they never change. Please subscribe, please like, leave a comment. Love hearing from you, and God bless you. Don't be afraid of change. Embrace it and enjoy the flow, because at the end of every river is one of two things. 1, the sea, and 2, a waterfall. How amazing is the sea and how amazing are waterfalls? You got nothing to be afraid of, just like the river. God bless. Can you see the holly? Look at the holly. I love holly. Reminds me of Christmas.